Yes, yes. Oh, good. I see Ted. Hi, Ted. So
Everybody's here.
very exciting. All right.
All
Five
right.
minutes.
Well, shall we? I mean, I guess we could. Should we? We should. Okay.
Do it. Let's
All
do it.
right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our sponsor showcase. This is one of two very fun and exciting events that we're going to be doing today to highlight our amazing sponsors, many of whom are on the screen if you can see them. I'm going to do my best as your MC today to set the stage. And then I'm also going to try to remember to pin people so you see the right people talking at the right time. To our speakers, I'll just ask if you're not actively speaking, if you'll go ahead and hide your camera icon just so that we see your beautiful picture. But that way we really focus in on who's talking at the moment. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're so good. Okay. So the four groups that are going to be talking today. So we've got Ted from Copado. We've got Ryan from Huron. We've got Samantha from Accenture. And I've got Nicole from Violet Consulting. This is going to be a really fun session. I like to say this is like lightning round fireside chat. And it's a little bit dramatic, guys. It's going to be a good time. In this session, we're going to have an amazing sponsor come up on stage with us. We're going to start this really dramatic clock for 5 minutes. They're going to answer 5 questions before the time ends. Now, sponsors, just note we will be stopping you at 5 minutes. So you want to make sure that you're really watching the clock on the screen. You won't miss it, I promise. And then we'll make sure that we go ahead and transition and tell people how to meet up with you after you speak today. I think our first group that we have up is Copado. So I think, Frank, you're going to lead this with Copado. I'm going to just switch my share over to share a different screen here in just a moment and let you kick it off with Ted. Give me just 1 second to do that.
Sure thing. Just say when.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be doing it.
Oh,
Let's see here. Ted, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing great. This is going to be really fun. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, let me get my share all set up. 1 second. Here we go. Entire
right.
screen.
I'm getting excited.
I know we do. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
see the clock already counting down. I know it isn't, but all right.
It's not yet. No. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. And Frank, go when you're ready. Ready?
Ready to go. Hello, Ted. Welcome, welcome. I won't take up any of your 5 minutes, but we'll talk more if we have time at the end. Let's start with Ted Copado, CEO of Copado. Ted, tell us about your company.
Yeah, so Copado is about less divorces. What does that mean? That means that if you're the administrator or the developer, that you get to go home for dinner on a release day. And that's important to us because most of the people at Copado actually start off building applications on Salesforce. I think we talked, Frank, in the past, I started building applications in Salesforce in 2007. And what I found was that a lot of times we didn't have the process or the procedures in place to make sure that when we went to go deploy code, it wasn't breaking everything. And so when I met the two founders of Copado, who are from Madrid, actually one was from Argentina, I asked them, how did you come up with the name Copado? And they said, well, it means in Argentinian slang, that's cool. And I said, well, what's cool about Copado? And they said, well, you get to go home for dinner. And I said, well, how do you get to go home for dinner? They're like, well, if you set up a CI/CD process, nothing gets deployed that will break your users. And then your users will be happier with you and you'll like your job and you'll want to stay around. And in fact, we got the less divorces thing from Cisco because they were tracking in their team how many people were getting divorced before they had Copado. And so we just in generally want to make people successful with their Salesforce deployments. That's what we're all about.
All right, great. Let's get a question two here. Tell us about your expertise areas in higher ed. And I think you kind of answered some of it.
Yeah, so I think we are a platform that allows any level in the higher ed system to be successful with Salesforce. Clearly, Salesforce is evolving in higher education. It's allowing you to build applications for applicants, students, faculty, alumni, your campus communities, and we support that whole mission. And that's where you might not know Copado's under the covers, but it's really the process to allow large, complex deployments. Whether you have multiple orgs, multiple departments, multiple decision makers, we allow all those people to sort of come together and deploy their code without things breaking. And that, believe it or not, as you get more complex, becomes a bigger issue. And we have different products for different levels of maturity. So if you're just entering the Salesforce ecosystem, we have something called Copado Essentials, which is for teams of 1 or 2 people. If you're maybe 5 to 10 developers and you're just getting kind of that next level of maturity, we have something called Copado Express. If you're super mature, you've been doing this for a long time and you know where your problems are, we have the Enterprise Copado solution. So our product's really designed to have the right level of maturity for each customer at their stage in their journey of Salesforce usage. Did I answer your question, Frank?
Absolutely. Oh, fantastic. All right, now let's talk about higher ed implementation or customer story you want to share. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, so there are a couple I could tell. I could talk about the University of Chicago, but I think I'm going to talk about JMU. James Madison University was looking at multiple solutions. They were looking at DevOps with Azure. They were looking at a whole bunch of different things they could do. And they brought in Huron Consulting to do a deployment for them of sort of a key initiative they had around My Madison Connect and advising CRM. And so they leveraged Copado, and within about 5 weeks, they were successfully live and really leveraged Copado to sort of achieve that accomplishment. So I think that's a pretty strong statement as to how this helped them be successful.
Great. All right, fantastic. Now, what excites you about 2024?
AI and testing. What we're seeing, we have a testing product because when we looked at the value stream map of where people go off the rails with Salesforce, it's testing. And we know that most people in the Salesforce ecosystem manually test. And so we've built a series of robotic and AI tools that allow manual testers to find those bugs before they get deployed. And it's really got us excited because we're seeing how it's reducing the time for big projects to get off the ground by 30 to 40%.
Cool. And in the last few seconds, who is your alma mater and what was your degree in or is your degree in?
Yeah, so I am a history major from Washington Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, and I have a Juris Doctorate from the University of San Francisco in San Francisco, California.
Fantastic. We have 20 seconds left. What else do you want to tell us?
I would just say, come take a look at Copado.com. We work with Huron, we work with Accenture, we work with all types of consultants, we work with lots of higher education institutions, and we're really about making people successful with the platform. We really love the Salesforce platform, and we want to see people realize its value.
Amazing. We are right at time. One second.
What? That was amazing.
Thank you, Ted. Yeah, that was great. Thanks a lot, Ted. That was fantastic. And thanks for joining us, and thanks for the sponsorship and supporting the higher ed community and the Higher Ed Advisory Council and the Dreamin team. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Frank. If anybody has questions for Copado and you want to reach out to them, they have an expo booth where you can go visit them after this session. I think next up, we've got Huron. Let me just make sure I am moving it right along on my slide deck here. Ryan, and then Carrie, I think you're going to be doing our interview. Is that right?
I am. I'm so excited to introduce Ryan Clemens. Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
You as well.
Kick it off with our first question. You have 5 minutes, and we'll start off by tell us about your company.
Awesome. So yeah, Huron's a global consulting firm. We were founded in 2002. Really our roots in higher ed and more of the strategy consulting space. We got into Salesforce in 2015, I believe it was, with an acquisition. And since then kind of have been really scaling on our approach and really focusing a lot in higher ed. As we take a look at kind of our global footprint, we are headquartered in Chicago, but have offices around the US as well as a large India footprint and offices around India, and also currently just recently expanded in Singapore and further growth into EMEA and potentially Australia. As we take a look at the higher ed specific team, we have over 1,000 consultants that really come from higher ed, have higher ed background and focus on that, and over 350 to 400 people that specialize within that in the Salesforce space. And then kind of even going down to my team, I lead up our higher ed team. We have over 50 and growing people that really we like to call ourselves higher ed experts that know Salesforce, not the other way around. Mostly because, like myself, coming from Arizona State University, leading Salesforce and other implementations, our roots and a lot of the people came from higher ed institutions and really focus on helping through digital transformations and really can speak the higher ed language.
That's great, Ryan. Can you tell us about your expertise in specific areas in higher education?
Yeah, so I kind of spoke to that a little bit, probably jumped the gun on the question a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I think, really as we take a look at the faces we have on the screen, we come from higher ed, we know higher ed, and we really like to focus on helping through digital transformations, not only Salesforce, but reaching across throughout Huron and all the capabilities we bring for true digital transformations across multiple technology stacks. As Salesforce, a lot of times is that first mover, does that system of engagement and figure out how we can integrate with downstream systems of records and true business transformation with different universities.
Awesome. Let's get a little more granular. Tell us about a recent education implementation or a customer story that you've done in the last 6 months or a year.
This is a tough one. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'd be remiss if I didn't call out the work we're doing with the University of Miami and Florence, as well as Haley at Smith College, doing some great stuff there. But I think really want to focus on really the new education cloud. We've got 5 enterprise-focused clients that are, one has already gone live on Learner Success, and 4 others that are at different stages of their journey. And these are large-scale enterprise transformations, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that it's not focused on Salesforce. It's focused on really understanding the current business state, transforming it into new and better ways of working, and leverage Salesforce as the vehicle to kind of help with that. And so those 5 are West Virginia University, Queen's University, JMU, which Ted just mentioned. We've got USAC, which is University Study Abroad Consortium based out of Reno, Nevada. And I'm missing one. WVU, Queens, JMU, American University, another great innovator that's really taking a broad transformation across, starting with the recruitment and mission stack at and on Salesforce.
Great. You're doing great on time, Ryan. Number 4, what excites you about 2024? What's on the roadmap, product, programs?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things. I think really taking a look and doubling down on kind of all the lessons learned that we've had on the new education cloud. We've been fortunate to get a lot of great expertise, some of them on this call, that we're able to get from Salesforce, that were actually part of the product team building the new education cloud, and now helping us to really come up with kind of accelerators that are enabling us to take our lessons learned and really fast track future implementations. I think the education cloud roadmap we're really excited about, with different things, obviously data cloud and AI, and looking for ways to help universities implement that as well. But some of the roadmap items like third-party portals or milestone tracking, different portal experiences for parent and agents, and really the multi-constituent approach. And then some of the mentorship capabilities is coming out in winter. We've got a lot of interest from clients that are really exploring that space as well.
Wow, that sounds really cool. All right, last question. What is your alma mater, and what was your degree in, Ryan?
Go Devils.
That's a Pittsburgh.
Arizona State University. I actually started there as an undergrad, worked there as a half-time staff member. Thought I was going to leave, left for a little bit during the dot-com bubble, and came back and kind of stayed there up until I joined Huron about 5 years ago, and really, worked with Frank and a lot of other kind of thought leadership and that's going on there. My degree was, my master's was in, Master's of Science in Technology, and my undergrad was in graphic information technology.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. And don't forget to check out Huron in their booth.
Yep, booth. And we've got a Education Cloud focused roundtable coming up this afternoon. So I think there's going to be some great discussion happening there as well.
Yes, and we're really excited for that. I know we've had lots of questions already in the chat about Education Cloud. So I think John also just posted, another friend from Huron, about that session. So thanks, Ryan. You did great.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let me reset here. I think we are welcoming Florence and Samantha from Accenture. Let me get a fresh clock running. No pressure, Samantha. How you feeling?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good.
Hi, Samantha.
Hey.
You ready to do this? 5 minutes?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Tell us about your company.
Sure. So Accenture is a global professional services company that works across 40 industries and has more than 700,000 employees. So it's a small company, really. It's the power of Accenture really lies in our ability to combine our cross-industry functional expertise. So in this case, what's relevant to this audience is Salesforce, with our deep knowledge of the higher education industry, and then also the local environment. So that really allows us to understand your needs and scale up and down to meet them as is necessary. Accenture's purpose, and I never thought there could be a purpose that applies to everyone, but it is to realize the promise of technology and human ingenuity. And in higher ed, that means many things, including strategy consulting, operational efficiency, digital transformation, cybersecurity operations, and a lot more.
Oh, awesome. Well, next question up is, tell us a little bit about your expertise area in higher education.
Sure. So we have a lot, but as it relates to CRM, a lot of our work falls under what we would call the digital constituent experience. So it's where we really work with institutions to create a vision for better student experience, all the way from envisioning it to designing it, then identifying a strategy around it, implementing it, and then maintaining it. So with Salesforce and our higher education Salesforce practice, we've done more than 250 implementations across 80 different colleges and universities. And we have a lot of really amazing individuals working in our group, more certified tech architects than any other company. And we partner with Salesforce on the Leadership Council for Education Cloud, and have done a lot with Salesforce in terms of implementing new clouds across a variety of industries. And now we're really excited to do it in education.
Very impressive. All right, jumping to the third question. Tell us about a recent higher education implementation or a customer story with us.
Sure. Well, there's so much to talk about, but I'll give you one that was from the latest Dreamforce. We're proud to be in the middle of helping the University of Oregon Foundation pursue a transformative new CRM for advancement. Oregon's goal is really to improve their processes and enhance connection with alumni and donors. And they were on another CRM system before, but with Accenture's expertise, we helped them to identify an ideal advancement CRM solution and develop a robust data strategy to get everyone on board with moving towards this. And now they're in the middle of, we're in the middle of implementing with them and supporting everything from sort of integrations with using MuleSoft to data on AWS and Tableau. So it's really exciting to see their journey.
Very exciting for them. All right, just crossed the 2-minute mark. So what excites you for 2024?
I'm excited to be working with institutions as they embrace enterprise-wide CRM solutions. So we have been talking about this in higher education for as long as I can remember, about this vision of the 360-degree student experience and journey and knowledge about students. And now we finally can come true with Education Cloud. And we're starting to see institutions really embrace this. And I'm really excited to help institutions on their journey towards this and make sure we can finally sort of have a tech solution to do the things that they wanted to do all along.
Very nice. Well, we have about a minute left. Last question. Who is your alma mater and what is your degree in?
Sure. So I graduated in an undergraduate degree in economics, international business, and German language and literature from Brandeis University. And then I subsequently got my MBA at INSEAD in Singapore, which is where I also started with Accenture.
Very interesting background. And you have just under a minute left. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, well, I would like to say that we're really excited to be here today and so excited that you have spent all the time to put on this amazing event for everybody. I'm excited for all of the chats and like the claps in the chats and to see everybody come together on this topic. We get better when we share with each other, and I love to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, and we couldn't agree more. All right, Haley, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you. Thank you, Samantha.
Great. Yeah, I think we've got one more. Thanks, Samantha. You did so good. It's like you guys have practiced this, or I don't know, have elevator speeches or something prepared, but it's not nearly as dramatic as it could be. So good job, guys. I get to do the last interview here. I'm going to welcome Nicole. Nicole, hey there. How you doing?
Hey, good, Haley. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Sorry, I forgot to display the last slide. If you're interested in talking with Samantha, head on over to the Accenture booth. We're going to talk about Violet Consulting now, though, Nicole, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to start the clock, and I'll ask you your first question. Here we go. Tell us about your company.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Haley said, my name is Nicole Shannon. I am one of the co-founders of Violet Consulting, and we are a boutique woman-owned Salesforce consulting company. We were founded in 2021 by Shalise Corden and myself. During that time, since we were founded, we've assisted over 37 higher education institutions through implementations, custom projects, and managed services on Salesforce. Our team is not only Salesforce certified, but also experienced in other third-party tools, things like form assembly and demand tools and Informatica, and all that kind of comes along for that big picture Salesforce needs. And we work to empower educational institutions to confidently utilize their CRM by providing expert technical and implementation services on the Salesforce platform, including Education Cloud and TargetX. But what does that really mean to empower and to confidently utilize something? And that's a big core value for us. We really like to focus on making sure that our clients know what's going on. They can use it after we build it. We want to make sure that anything that we create for clients, whether that's flows, whether that's just a formula field, whatever that is, whatever stage they're at, we really want to make sure they know how to use it moving forward. And we tell our clients a lot, we don't want you to be dependent on us, right, forever. We're not one of those companies. We want to make sure you have what you need and can move forward and fly out of the nest and then come back to us for like the next big project when you're ready for that next phase, right? So that's kind of our goal. And that's what we mean by empowering. Our mission is to ease the challenges of finding, implementing, and utilizing CRM technology that drives institutional goals. So that allows our partners to focus on their priority, the students. So that's always our goal, is to bring things back to the student experience.
I love that. And is there anything else you'd want to say for question 2 about your expertise areas in higher ed?
Sure. So at Violet, our expertise in higher ed is really in the recruitment and retention of students. And our team has over 30 combined years of on-campus higher education experience. And that's in a variety of areas: recruitment, admissions, operations, student services, and retention. And our experiences spanned the breadth of higher ed, from 2-year community and technical colleges, private and public institutions, and graduate schools. And then all of us on our team, actually, we have very similar backgrounds. We've continued to work with higher education students from the technology side, right? Coming at it from this other angle rather than being boots on the ground on campus. And so we have 17 years of continued experience working with higher education institutions on the technology side for full Salesforce implementations, virtual and in-person training, custom projects. And I would say our expertise really lies in making sure that the technical side of Salesforce matches an institution's recruitment and student services goals. Oftentimes we come onto campus and they're like, these are all of our goals, and this is what the CRM is already doing. And it's not doing those things to meet the goals. So really, we try to really match those together, because without that match, you're not going to be successful in using your CRM.
Yeah, I love that. So question 3, just under 2 minutes here. So tell us about a recent higher ed implementation or a customer story.
Sure. So at the beginning of this year, we started working with a community college, Monroe County Community College. They were partway through implementing Salesforce and additional third-party tools, and the first half of their implementation did not go the way they hoped. They were pretty down on the tool overall. Using our experience and expertise, we really helped them fill the gaps of what was already implemented, right? So we found those quick wins so they could actually start to use what was already in place. And then we really worked with them to make a roadmap and set some goals and what this could look like for them, right? And I think they saw the end goal and they didn't have a roadmap to get there. And that's really where we were able to come in and provide that. One of their biggest challenges is that as a small community college, they had students coming in and out of enrollment. So recruitment, retention, student success, it's all one thing. And really in higher ed, it usually is, right? That's all kind of one thing, but especially at the community college level, those are deeply intertwined. And so we use that in all of our conversations with them and thought through processes as we were implementing Salesforce to make sure we were building things for all of those groups. Man, and I am going to be the one that doesn't get through all the questions. I'm looking at the clock. This is very stressful.
You're good. Okay.
But their Salesforce solution now has their full lifecycle data. So they can communicate with all of those different groups of students, and they're fully implemented and they have flown out of the nest and are using the tool now.
Yeah. So we've got time still. What excites you about 2024?
So I think for us at Violet and for me personally, just seeing what's going to happen with flows. There's been so many changes with flows, and we have used a lot of flows with clients. We really like to see what's coming and are excited to do more with that.
Nice. Well, and so we didn't get to the last question, but if people want to know, they can find you at your booth, right? So if they
Absolutely.
want
Yeah.
to know, and maybe you could post in chat for us too, who's your alma mater and what's your degree in. Nicole, you did great. It's hard to do 5 minutes when you have so much to talk about, like seriously, but it just adds to the drama, you know?
Thanks,
Thank you
Haley.
so much. You did great, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my last screen. So if you do have questions for Violet Consulting or any of the sponsors that were here for our showcase and those in our showcase number 2, just visit the expo area by going on the left-hand side panel. We're just about 5 minutes away from our next round of sessions. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our sponsors. You'll hear from many of them in our next sponsor showcase. And then just a reminder for you to navigate around the platform where you do want to go to select sessions to get back to the main schedule. And then also start thinking about which roundtable you're planning to go to if you haven't done so already. We'll see you on the next session. Everybody have a great rest of your day.